morning. It's good to see you all here. I know when we last met this time last year, we were all coming to terms with the devastation from Storm Frank. Everyone on the river did an amazing job to get the fishery open for the 1st of February last year. So thank you all for your help and support over the last 12 months. In terms of friendships, I'd like to introduce Alexander. He's here, first time on the Dee. Hopefully not your last, you are going fishing elsewhere. So I'd like to hand over and welcome you to Deeside.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for my lovely introduction. I thought you pitched that absolutely perfect. If I may say, I'm reminded of a story a friend of mine told. I have a lovely Irish friend who was telling me that apparently back in the 1960s, no radio station in the whole of the Republic of Ireland was allowed to play pop music for moral or cultural reasons. I'm not sure, perhaps religious reasons. They weren't allowed to play any pop music, and so it was a whole territory that huge music giants couldn't get into. And so the only option they had, if they wanted to open up the Irish territory, was to pack all of their acts in the back of a transit van and drive them around the outlying districts of the south of Ireland. And they would have these huge stars who would travel around and perform in little parish halls. And this friend of mine says he remembers, aged about 6, going along to his village hall. And of course, this being the south of Ireland, these events were presided over by the parish priest. He says he remembers the parish priest coming onto the stage and saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, before this evening gets underway, I would just like to draw your attention to a couple of things. As you came in through the lobby, no doubt you will have seen 2 doors marked ladies and gentlemen. These are the toilets. Now I know what happens on these evenings. You start off down in O'Shea's bar and you come up here. But of course you can't be bothered to queue for the toilets. So you're all going out into the road and doing your business out there. You think it all runs down the road. I'm here to tell you it doesn't. It all seeps in under the lobby. Rivers of the stuff. And just because you lot can't be bothered to queue for the toilets, now the whole place stinks of urine. Ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Springfield! Well, thank you very, very much for inviting me here. I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be here this morning, and such a rare and great honour that it is almost obscuring my nervousness. Ross is going to be taking us out this afternoon, but actually my thoughts have been dwelling on another Ross over the past few days. I'm thinking of Diana Ross, of course, and her memorable opening of the 1994 World Cup finals in America. For those who don't remember, her simple task was to kick a ball through an open goal at point-blank range. For some curious and spectacular reason, she missed. Anyway, yes, I won't describe myself as a lapsed fisherman, because that would be to imply that the fire wasn't still raging within me. I grew up, as Richard said, I grew up about half a mile from the River Coquet in Northumberland. And we had free run of about 3 miles of the river from Pepperhalf down to Weldon Bridge, if anyone knows that, including the beautiful beach at Brinkford, which is where we each took our first drown. Not a salmon river, really, of any note, but teeming with small wild brown trout. I was bought my first rod for my 7th birthday, and introduced, my birthday being in March, perfect time really, I suppose. I was then introduced over that spring and summer to fishing. I can't think of anything that possessed me as quickly and thoroughly as fishing. Not only did fishing make perfect sense to me, it also made perfect sense of me. For the first time in my life, I had a fulfilling function. I knew what I had to do, and I had a job I could get on and do. And the freedom, the sense of freedom as a child that you have, when you have a fishing rod in your hand, and miles of riverbanks to explore, different eddies and runs and pools. And then the genius of the timing of this, I then went off to boarding school that September. And of course what happens when you go to boarding school is everything about home becomes sacred. And fishing was the perfect emblem of home life. And so I remember my brother and I used, when we came home, just to see, it was a race basically, to see who could get their line on the water first. So fishing has been a huge part, I mean almost a central part of my childhood, right the way through university. But then I moved to London, worked, kind of, and then had children. And and the trouble is, I would have regular fishing trips that then became annual fishing trips, and then became random days on the river. And then I was saying to someone earlier, I think it's 7 years since I've even assembled my rod, which is it's terrible. 4 children, you see. That's what it does to you. But then I got this wonderful invitation, and I have to say there was something powerful stirred deep in the pool. And so yes, I have decided that when I have my Diana Ross moment shortly, and I cast that first fly, I will be promising to myself that this is the year that our nappy changing table goes back to the attic and my fishing bag comes down from the attic. This is the year I will take my children to the water's side. But it is, of course, there's another restoration that we are here to celebrate, as Mark touched on, and that is the serious work that has gone into repairing the damage of the storm last year. Extraordinary work done to restore the banks, the paths, the fishing huts. And now I think that every last caravan and castle has been pulled from the torrent of the Dee. It sounds very much as though the river is once again on its road, on a road to fine health. So thank you very, very much to everyone for all of that. And thank you to the Salmon Fishery Board. Thank you to the River Dee Trust. And thank you to all of you for turning out today. It really is so heartening to see this level of community support for the river and its valley. So thank you all very, very much indeed. Have a wonderful year's fishing and tight lines. To the Dee! All the fish in it!
Feel free to lift it.
No,